Started out talking about satisfiers and dissatisfiers, and then last week, of course, I answered a question from a pastor in Australia that I thought would be helpful and perhaps relevant for any number of others who watch this. And then we kind of brought it around to the idea that this is important, this business of satisfied and dissatisfied, because productive sheep are relaxed. David said, "He makes me to lie down in green pastures." Philip Keller's classic little book, Shepherd Looks at the 23rd Psalm, which is several decades old, but you should read the book if you haven't. It's a quick and easy read. In it, he gives 4 requirements for sheep to lie down and relax. I'm going to talk about each of those over the next several weeks because these are important. Keller says that sheep cannot relax without these 4 necessities. The first one that we're going to talk about this week and another is that sheep, to be productive, have to be free of all fear. Sheep are timid creatures. They won't relax while they are uncertain. Now, fear varies from one community and one congregation and one individual to another. But there are some generalizations that I can make about the fear that exists in the people that we are attempting to minister to. The first is an indictment of some people like myself, because there are some Christian leaders who approach this work as though God has commissioned them to be intimidating. There's nothing in God's mandate for us as men and women of God that indicates we should be intentionally intimidating. A watchman does not intimidate the city that he watches over. He warns. What those who heard do with the warning is their decision. He doesn't make the decision for them. He simply warns them. The pilot of a ship, which is a term that's used in the New Testament to speak of Christian leadership, he wants to bring the ship into port, and the ship would have sailors lined up along the bow of the vessel, and he wants to hear their voice if there is an approaching rock or another ship is looming in the fog. That pilot is not interested in having people who are too intimidated to talk to him about the dangers that their ship is facing. You've seen the picture. We all have. The shepherd who has the lamb in arms. I've watched a shepherd with a flock, and the sheep skitter about him, playing at his feet. They're comfortable in his presence. They're not concerned that he might suddenly lash out at them in a moment of his own personal frustration. So the first thing I want to plan, and particularly for you young pastors, this may have been the model that you were raised with. It may have been all that you ever seen. But if you want to be an effective pastor who grows people and builds a church, don't set out to intimidate your people. Folks, arrogance is unbecoming, whether it's in the pew or the pulpit. The fear of God is a viable feeling, though the term really has as much to do with respect as it does with fear. The sheep fearing the shepherd is not a biblical concept. Respect and fear are 2 different things. If your relationship with people is based on them being fearful of you, calling down the judgment of God and the wrath of God on them, you are no shepherd to those people. You're a judge. Let's stop intimidating and start loving. Next week, we're going to talk further about some of the things that people fear. I know that you're getting ready for Christmas. We have a number of specials at the websites christianchurchgrowth.com and carltoncoonsenior.com. Visit. You may well find exactly what you're needing to buy for your own gift or for something for a young preacher who's coming up behind you. God bless. Have a great week. don't intimidate any of your people this week. Instead, bless them with the good grace of God.